Hello and welcome to another day in paradise and welcome to another edition of the Unapologetic Negropian. In today's video, today's live session, I should say, we're going to talk with somebody who, well, we're going to talk with SUMUMBA, SOBUKWE, all about his experience. I call it catfishing, but you don't totally agree with that word, do you? You don't think that was totally the case. You thought that it was more that the encounter itself with this Nigerian lady was totally not superficial, but real. You think it was real?
Yeah, it was real all the way up until the end, I think.
Man.
Yeah, it's latent catfishism. It's still catfish at the end of the day. So I would agree with you on that, but it didn't start out that way. COVID got away.
Okay.
Not being able to travel over there as well, and her situation was more desperate than she let on. And so it kind of turned into that. Just when I was ready to come, COVID hit. And so then I got delayed. And then she had some issues because she moved from Nigeria to Ghana. She's from Ghana originally. And issues with her papers there. And so that took more time and then more money, long story short. And then I was financing all of this. And eventually, I guess she just got to the point where she just found a husband out there. And it's funny because she warned me. She said, You need to hurry up. But okay, I don't want to give the whole story away now. We got time to get into it. So it didn't start out as catfish. It was legit. It was legit. Yeah, but it turned into that in a way, you know.
Let's we're going to start from the beginning. First,
Okay.
So in today's video, we're going to talk about this experience because I personally think, and going over the information that you sent me, SUMUMBA, I personally think that there were some signs that perhaps you could have been. I'm trying to tread carefully without saying anything to offend you.
Yeah, there were signs that I missed.
There should have been some signs. Yeah. So you're going to talk. We're going to go over these signs as well. So SUMUMBA SOBUKWE from live from New York. Okay, just tell us what happened from the beginning. Okay. Well, how did you meet her?
Okay. All right. So this is total situationship. Situationships is like basically an online relationship. I met her in a singles group on Facebook. First sign, right? First mistake. And then we just immediately kind of hit it off. She had a son. I think he was 10 at the time. And she was like 29, 30, perfect age for me because I still want children and I want to be married. And she wanted those things as well. And we started talking immediately. And I guess the first sign should have been for me was when she said, I love you within 2 days. That should have been a sign for me. You know what I'm saying? And let me just, before all this. No, it's okay. Yeah. It's okay. I'm relieved that it's over. So that was the first sign.
I don't want to laugh.
And let me
not laugh. Okay.
No, you can laugh. It's fine, brother. I know where you're coming from. I know your heart. So I'm just saying that. Let me just say before everything else, I take full responsibility for what happened. She didn't have a gun to my head, and I saw the signs. And I skipped the signs. You know. So let me. I guess need to continue a little bit. So we just started talking, exchanging. She wasn't asking for money. She wasn't asking for anything. But it got to the point where I started realizing she focused on married and focused on having a child because she felt her time was running out, even though she was only 9 or 30 at the time. He was very pressed. And I want to get married too. Like, I'm an older gentleman, you know? So anyway, so I saw the signs though, because I saw a lot of
Can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
Let me ask a question. Was she a Christian or a Muslim?
How much time we got today? She was actually Hebrew, one of those people. Yes. Which is a whole nother part. How much time we got today? Because that's a whole nother issue.
Wow. We're going to go
Yeah,
into that. We're going to need to touch on that. If it has anything to do with the actual story itself, we need to just go touch into it. But
right.
yeah, sorry, did you say Ibu?
Hebrew. You know
Hebrew.
Hebrewism.
Was
Yeah,
she
Black
part of
Hebrew.
the?
They got not the Black Hebrews, but she considered herself one of the Hebrew tribes or whatever, or religion in Nigeria. You know, there is a small community of them, or maybe even yeah.
Lost tribe of Judah.
Kind of, I said that wrong. She doesn't belong to that 12 tribe Black Hebrew thing. She just believes that she's a Hebrew. And there's a
Hello,
community of
Tanya.
Hebrew. There is a community of Hebrews out there, Black Hebrews, African Hebrews, and they have that following. So she was part of that, you know, practice the Sabbath, don't do it on Saturday, that sort of thing. You know, so that was also a sign because
She
I
was
really
Jewish.
don't. She considered herself Hebrew, but she was actually born in Ghana, and she's part of I forget the name of the tribe in Ghana, and her father was like a chief, and her mother is I believe her mother is Ibu. You know, but she lived in I guess I can say she lived in Badagry, which is a huge slave port in Nigeria, and she lived with her mother, her sister, and her son. So yeah, but she had her own thing. She had she worked in her mom's pharmacy. Her mom was a nurse, so she had money. They had everything, a generator and all this other stuff in the beginning. And eventually I helped her actually start her own business or continue her own business. She had a website. She was like a vlogger. And then she got into skincare and hair care stuff. And then she went into wigs. So that's part of the whole, I don't want to say game, because I actually offered to help her. So I helped her start that business, and then she transferred it over to her sister. And so I was just very generous with my time and my money. And I even helped them get a new generator, you know, with the switch, because, you know, they have power issues in Nigeria. So it was only like $200 or $300. It wasn't that much. So I got that, you know, and I was also, you know, I did a lot of giving, like the son needed school fees, stuff like that. So
can I ask you a question, SUMUMBA?
Catfished myself in a way, but go ahead.
I should be asking this question at the end, but I want us to sort of break down a bit of a timeline of how sort of slow or how quick this happened. So from the point in which you have met this lady on a singles Facebook account, right? You've met her there. She's approached you. You know, there's been a bit of banter there, you know, and things have gone well. And you've taken the talk privately. I'm guessing you've exchanged numbers, and then you started talking privately. When was the first point? How long did it take for you? Okay, you said 2 days before she said she loved you. That's pretty quick. That's extraordinarily quick. But how long did it take before she asked for money, or she asked you for something? How long did it take for that to happen?
I guess about 5 or 6 months in. Like, she never really, this is the tripped out part. This is why I don't call it quite catfishing. She had a business before. She was doing, I think she owned a small, like hair care, skin care, that sort of thing. She basically went into wigs, which is more profitable. So I just remember she was talking, and I thought to myself, well, maybe if I, you know, help her restart her business, which is also like the website and stuff like that. Maybe if I can do that, and she can have her own money, and then by the time that we get together, it'll be all good. So it wasn't just like, I need money for this, I need money for that. She, you know, like I say, her mom was a nurse, and you know, her mom owned a pharmacy there, and the way she worked. So they were hungry, never, nothing like that. So this isn't like a classic case of catfishism. And I actually just volunteered because I thought that it not only would help her, I thought it would kind of like help our relationship, because what she was trying to do was highlight African beauty, natural African beauty. And that was her hair products, her skin products, and also her talking about skin bleaching in West Africa and the problem of skin bleaching in West Africa. So that all started in earnest, and then it just got to the point where the feelings got deeper, and I just started sending her money just to kind of help her resupply and stuff like that. And the problem with that is the problem came in when it was like she was just breaking even, and the money wasn't really good. So she wasn't really a good businesswoman, if you ask me, in my opinion, because you should be making profit off of that, not just enough to get by. So that was about 5 or 6 months in. It didn't start immediately. She never asked for anything, which is good. I have had women that have asked from the jump. So that's why it's not quite catfish. Me being kind of immature or silly, me being like immature and silly with it. So that's the long and short of that.
Okay, so not until 6 months, 5 or 6 months in. That's a very long time, and not typical of somebody who's catfishing. But in some cases, they can wait that long if they know that the man on the other end is pliable. You know, he's compliant. You know, he's talking. Things are going well. They will build things up. They will start doing that, and they can wait months to the point in which, hey, you know, let's buy a house, you know, stuff like that. So they could have been. I mean, you never know. You never know. They could have had bigger plans for you, if indeed it was. It could have been a genuine woman. I don't believe it was, but we'll talk when we get to the end. I'm going to give you. I'm going to give you my analysis of whether I or not I believe this woman was genuine or not. Okay, so
okay,
you've gone into this. What did you call it? The situationship, right? You've gone into this situationship, right? And things have started to blossom between you two. And how long did it take for you guys to start talking about marriage and that sort of thing?
Honestly, we had talked about it from the beginning, what it would look like, stuff like that. We both said, you know, time is finite, it's not infinite. And I've been wanting to get out of the country and all this other stuff for a minute and go visit Africa. And the money became right for me. See, we're talking 2019 into 2020. And just when I was really gearing up to come is when COVID kicked in. So we're talking, we started talking in September of 2019. And I guess 5-6 months in, around March, you know, we was really talking about planning on me coming there. But then not only did COVID hit, also I had a house fire. 2020. I had a house fire on March I think the 12th. So the same day that I had a house fire and I had to move out was the same day that they shut the city down with the COVID stuff, with the restrictions in New York City. Maybe that was a sign as well.
Oh, wow.
But we had a couple big fights by then and different arguments by then. And because I had kind of seen the signs of how, like, you know, I would ask her simple questions like, what you say you love me? What do you love about me? Like, you haven't even met me yet. Like, tell me what you love about me? What do you like about me? And she never really could verbalize it. And then I said to her, and we got to a big fight. I said, she's like more interested in marriage per se, and the ceremony and all this stuff, because you feel your time is running out, than about who I am as a man. You know, she denied it, this and that. We got into a big fight about it, and I should have been out at that point. That's even before I started sending money. And the money is not the really big issue. But I really do feel that she had feelings about me, but I feel like she was more interested in marriage and her time running out, and she really wanted to have a daughter as well. So she really did want this, but the thing is, she didn't let me know that.
Can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
Was it the fact that? Do you think the fact that you're an African American as well? You hold an American passport? And
No.
No, you don't think that had anything
No,
to do with it? Oh,
no, not
okay.
at
I
all.
think I know what you're
Not
going to
at
tell me
all.
now. Go ahead. Carry on going. I think I know what you're going
Yeah.
to tell me.
I say, first of all, she didn't want to move to America. She wasn't looking for a green card. I think she just wanted to get out of Badagry, and I think she eventually just wanted to get to Accra. And she had, before me, she was talking to somebody. Now, I think she did kind of target foreign dudes, because before me, she was talking and engaged to a white Scottish man. I think I told you that, right? And anyway, he's the one that got her. This is where it gets twisted. He's the one that got her into Hebrewism or Hebrewism. And the reason why it didn't work out with them was because he was very controlling. You know, the woman should submit in the Western sense of everything. And then she met him, and it was like not a connection she felt. And so that situation didn't work out. And then she started thinking about it, like, do I really want to marry a white man? You know, and have at one point she said, do I really want to marry a white man, especially a controlling white man? You know, and do I really want to move to, I think they wanted to move to, what is it, Edinburgh or whatever?
Oh, dear.
And then he was married.
Oh, dear. Oh,
yeah, she did some research, I guess,
place.
and she said, maybe this isn't for me. You know?
Nah, man, nah. Actually, Edinburgh is okay. Edinburgh isn't bad, but two of the largest
It's a very
cities,
scenic country.
It's Scotland's okay, but it's like if you can compare Scotland to Great Britain, to England, okay, they're both together as part of the United Kingdom. Scotland is like 20 years behind. The Scottish people are so they're a little bit behind on everything in terms of culture and in terms of the way they live. The quality of life in Scotland is much worse than that in England or even in Ireland. It's wild. It's not. I mean, I've lived there as well. I've lived there. You know, I've spent a lot of time in Edinburgh. Edinburgh, like you said, it's a beautiful city, but nah. I would not move from West Africa. I wouldn't move from West Africa and then go to Scotland. And I know a lot of West Africans that have moved to Scotland. They love it there. They love it there. I don't know what it is, especially Nigerians. It doesn't matter where they go. They thrive. They succeed. It's maybe something in their blood or something. I don't know. But anyway, this Scottish is a Scottish Hebrew. Ah, man, it's really got me scratching my head now. Stacey Amber, Scotland isn't that bad. Okay, you need to go and live there then. Yeah, I don't know. I spent a lot of time in Glasgow as well. Oh dear, what a place. Hello, Amber. Hello, Monique. And hello, Katie. That whole I don't want to move to America thing could be a trick so you can let down your guard. Maybe. It's all right. I'm going to allow SUMUMBA to continue. So where are we? So she's told you about this Scottish guy. It didn't work out with him. He's too controlling, too everything else. 6 months. Why did it take you guys? I mean, you guys, from the point of saying that we're going to meet up, why did it take so long for you guys to actually meet up? Because you started seeing her. What date? 2019.
We started September 17th. We first started talking online, and then by I guess January, February, we started talking about me coming over there. I wasn't just going to hop on a plane and come. Honestly, I wanted to talk a little bit more. But then it started getting kind of hot and heavy, even though we had a couple fights, which should have been warning signs for me. And then February, March rolls around. Okay, cool, let's go. And then COVID hits, So that's what happened. And he was not trying to move here. I was trying to get out of here myself. So it wasn't like that at all. It wasn't like, let me take down this guard. She had plans to stay in Africa. But she was saying that, you know, as long as we're together, it doesn't matter where we are. She just really wanted to get out of her hometown. Even though she hadn't had it really bad there, she had a child at a very young age, at 18, I think. And so she was always being kind of ostracized in her own family. And she had family members she lived in a compound like many do. And she was always kind of ostracized by them and her mother for being a single mom. You know, it's kind of different when you're a single mom in some parts of Africa or some families. So she really wanted to get out of Dodge, but I didn't realize how much. So to fast forward just a little bit.
What happened
so
to
her father?
What happened to the father of the child?
Well, the father. This is why we probably might need to do two parts. But so the father died, and they think that the father was poisoned. And then they started adding it up to some sort of African ritual stuff. And this is what made her turn to Hebrewism. And her mom was one of those Catholics, strict Catholics. So she ran away from everything to try to get away from it. So that's one of the big parts that we, you know, big parts of it as well. You know, and her father's buried in Ghana and she's there. And anyway, so she technically could. So anyway, one of her things was first to get her Nigerian passport, international passport. And then she wasn't able to get that because whatever, the infrastructure there is just crazy. So then she said, oh, why don't I go to Ghana, get my citizenship and, you know, stuff like that. And I want to live in Accra or whatever. I want to live a better life. And she kind of wanted to get away from her family a little bit too, you know, and kind of live a better life or what she thought was a better life. But the biggest issue there was she didn't money. She was making money, but just breaking even on the business that I supported. So I was like, okay, what it cost, 15 or whatever, a stack and some change for her to go to Ghana to get her papers, passport, birth certificates, citizenship for her and her son. And I paid for all of that for her to be there for 2 weeks because we figured it'd take 2 weeks to happen. So anyway, she got there, she got kind of scammed or whatever by the passport people, and she had to stay longer. So from there, that took, you know, it took money. She needed money. She had to go actually rent a room or rent an apartment. So I think it was like $600 or $700. It's way too much per month. And to me, that's high, even for a crop. And anyway, she got in there and she was like still asking, we're kind of up in time, still asking for money. And it's like, yo, all the money I'm sending you is money I'm supposed to be using to come visit you. You know, because I wasn't even working at that point, to be honest with you. I got the stimulus check, I got unemployment, you know, and I had some money saved. I was kind of working on the side as well. So I was still able to help support her. And then I remember the linchpin, the key moment when she said, you need to hurry up and get here because all these men are trying to get with me, sort of thing. I'm like, what? Oh. And then I remember I saw her name. She was on she went on Instagram and she had the last name of the guy. Stewart. First name Stewart. Her first name and then Stewart. I'm like, what is this? Has your page been hacked? And she just tried to play dumb. She tried to play this and that. But I'm like, oh, okay. So maybe a month or two before I even found out in November that she was married is when I realized. And the way I found out was inadvertently through her sister. Her sister said, something to the effect of
SUMUMBA.
She found someone that was married. She was ready for marriage, pretty much. But I saw the picture on her son's Telegram. Was it Telegram or Telegraph? A picture of her and the husband of her, new husband on her son's Telegram. I had become really cool with the son as well. Actually about to send him to soccer academy because he's a real big soccer person. So I found out that way. And then I just talked to the sister and the sister said, yeah, she's found someone that's ready for marriage or whatever. But even right before that, she's still asking me for rent, help with rent. I'm like, so what? Your man can't pay for your own rent?
Her, yeah.
So then we had a conversation about her son going to school, and it costs a lot of money for him to go to school and all this stuff. I said, look, why don't you wait at least a couple weeks, maybe a month or so, and then I'll have enough money to send for that. And we got into a big argument about, no, I want to send him now, this and that. And I just remember saying, well, aren't we partners in all this? You know, we had a big fight. And then we had a conversation. I said, aren't we partners? And she was like, no, we're not partners. And that's when it started clicking on to me. You're not his father. You know, I'm single. She pretty much told me we had a big fight about that. So I'm like, so why are you still asking me for money? What's the deal? Like, what am I sending you money for? And up to the very end, she was like, you know, send money to this is where the Catfish part, I guess, came in. She sent money to my wallet, not to Western Union or World Remit. So she still wanted to keep this little money coming in and keep it away from her husband, I guess. You know, and he probably had no idea. And it's no telling what's going on, because if he can't afford to pay her bills and she doesn't have the money, really, she wasn't making a whole lot on with her business. Who knows what's going on? But for me, I didn't want anything to do with her. I was actually relieved when it happened, you know. And I don't like to say I'm unforgiving of people, but what she did is unforgivable to me. And I thought to myself, a little bit angry, but then I was relieved, because I was like, I could not spend the rest of my life with someone like this anyway. Because we had gotten into a big fight. She had said very disrespectful things to me, and I was like, you don't have a pot to piss in. You talking about me and the struggles I'm going through, whatever, but I'm still able to pay my own bills and to pay yours as well, you know? So it was just like, how disrespectful can you be? You know? She started out like, she was a person that was...
Let me ask you another question.
Yeah, it didn't start out like this. She was very different in the beginning. Go ahead.
Yeah, so let me ask you another question. Actually, it's one that's written here. Why didn't you sort of focus on the women that were around you? I mean, I've lived in New York, plenty of beautiful women in New York. Was there a reason why you sort of focused more on the women that were online and available online? Was you more focused on African women more specifically? And sorry, one more question. Do you prefer African women over African American women? So
you're basically saying that we need to have, you're basically saying we need to make this 3 or 4 parts, because that's a long story.
I'm sorry.
Oh man. Okay, let me just say, just give me a moment. Give me a moment to quickly. Okay, we might have to do a part 2. I might have to do one on my own, because I know you're a busy man, and I know we got to do things in the Gambia. All right, but no. Long story short, I was born in Missouri. I was raised in California, and I went to school down in Louisiana. I went to an HBCU, historically Black college universities. So I had lived in every part of the country except for the Northwest. I went to Southern University, which is the second largest Black college in America. Okay. I think it's behind A&T, North Carolina A&T, and Howard. That was a really good experience for me. I encourage everybody to go to send their children there to a Black college, anyone. So I'm saying all that to say I had experienced women from all over the country, Black women, because I only really deal with Black women. And I just never connected with women anywhere else. And when I decided to move from Louisiana to New York, I just knew that I would meet my wife, my Essence, right off Essence magazine, the strong Black woman, a beautiful Black woman, strong in a positive way. And I never clicked, because when I got here, I don't know if you remember when you lived here, the sisters here are kind of rough, especially compared to women down south and even back west. They are kind of rough because they're so used to rough guys. So, you know, the New York state of mind is like real. And it just got to a point where I was dating women here. It was just like, nah, it's not going to work. I say, so maybe I should try to find a Black woman in another part of the world where the culture is a little different, where the respect factor is a little different, you know, where the submission factor is different. And to me, submission means just to agree to. Submit means we agree to, not in the I'm running you and I'm ruling you and stuff like that, you know. But so that's kind of the long and short. So I had talked to a girl before from Brazil, actually. That didn't work out too, because the same sort of dynamics happened. just when I was ready to come out there, she was just like, it just took too long for her. She was ready to go. And then she started, and this is another video. She actually ended up with an Italian guy, had a kid with him, and now she's miserable. We're still in touch. But she was a real sweet girl. She lived outside of Rio. I forget the name, Petropolis or something. We're still in touch. Which is really, and she apologized to me as well. It just took me a while for me to get all my stuff together and be able to come down there. And I didn't want to rush to meet anyone. When a lot of these women, they want to meet in a month or two or stuff like that. I'm like, no, let's take a little time, and all the rest of that. So, yeah, that's kind of what happened with the situation. It was never a pure, straight out catfish situation. And this is another thing. This is why I'll take the L and put it on me. She says, you need to go ahead and leave me alone because I'm going to hurt you one day.
Wow.
So she had it in her mind. She had it in her heart. So that's why I feel like I'm the idiot. I'm not going to sit here and just shit up and just crap on her when there was obviously signs that I should have been out, and that's kind of what happened.
Yeah.
And I don't feel she's like a bad person. She just wanted to scam a quote unquote African American, but I was just basically taking too long to get there at the point, and then I couldn't even come. And then when I had the house fire as well, it kind of went down because my money got kind of funny because I had to start spending money, and I was in a hotel and all this other stuff. So that also kind of went down, and like she wasn't really even like, well, I'm in Africa, you're still in New York, sort of thing. It didn't matter that I had to live in a hotel and then go to a single room occupancy as I'm still waiting to get a new apartment. So it kind of went down after that, and the respect seemed like it went down. She seemed like it was all about the money in the beginning, but when she got to Accra and she wasn't able to pay her bills because her business wasn't really kicking, and she had to pay all these extra fees while waiting to get her citizenship, like it went down. And I was still providing, just wasn't providing enough for her. She was on this month-to-month lease crap. And so, like the African women and African American women, I feel there is a difference. There is a difference, I do feel, but it's all the same. People are people at the end of the day, and it just depends on how you raise and the culture, the community, and family that you raise up in. Okay, but go ahead.
I think in a way you dodged a bullet with her. I think, honestly, I believe that the situation worked out quite well for you. Now that you're still in this situation, where you can meet that, the one, okay, and
fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed, yeah, but it always happens. It will generally tend to happen. You just got to be patient, right? I'm speaking like I'm some sort of dating guru, but in my experience, good things comes to those who wait, and focus on themselves. Once you focus on yourself and you build your own energy up, and that comes out, that shines, and women are attracted to that energy. They're attracted, right? And I'm sure there are women here listening to this as well. And I actually touched on this in a video the other day. I find it weird that women are attracted to men who are taken. Okay, and I think I might get a few rebuttals here, but there are a lot I have in the past. I've seen it before. If you tell a woman, if you're in that zone, and a woman approaches you, or you're talking to a woman, and you tell them, I'm married, I'm happily married, I've got my children, and I've got my family, and I'm happy, thank you very much. They don't listen to that and then, oh, okay, then bye. They don't do that. They come for you, because straight away, women are competitive creatures naturally, right? They just come. They don't see that as somebody. They don't see it as. They see it as a challenge. They see it as a challenge, as a competition, and a competition that they want to win. And even if it means them destroying your family, they will do so. They'll destroy your family regardless. What's most important is that, they get to stroke their own egos afterwards. You will get someone, not all of them are like that, by the way, guys, so please don't kill me. I'm looking inside the comment section because I want people kill me. But it is true in my experience, you know, because, and there was one point as well when I was about 3 or 4 years ago where I went celibate, right? I didn't do anything with anyone, right? No one who I met. And do you know what? Even at that time, not only did I not do anything with any other woman, I also, I didn't talk to them online. I didn't chat to them. I was like, okay, let me just deal with myself. And I went to the gym at 5 o'clock every morning. I was training hard. I was working hard. I was traveling a lot. I was meeting a lot of people. And I was focused like, boom, you know, I love that. I love that point in my life. So I had a great time, and I didn't focus and put all my happiness into the hands of a woman on whether I would find a woman or not, or whether I would feel complete when I find a woman or not. And it just happened that, you know, whilst I was not interested in looking for a partner, the perfect one came along. So that's how it kind of worked out for me. And it's not the first time that's happened. Actually, it's happened one other time before, good 15 years ago. So it's crazy how energy attracts women. Women can be attracted by energy. So anyway, before you reply to that, I just want to read off this message by Tanya. I wanted to read ages ago. It says, listen, my husband wasn't aware of my business. So Tanya is living in the United States. She's married to a Gambian gentleman. Gambian Dalasi doesn't compare to the US dollar, but my husband wired his savings to, oh wow, come on now, you really didn't know? Yeah. Do you know what it is, Tanya? I'm gonna answer this question for you. A lot of men have a lot of pride. Okay, I don't want to start talking like I'm a date guru, because I'm not. But a lot of men have a lot of pride, right? And even if they don't have that much money, that's not the point. The point is that some of them are hardwired. Some of them are geared. Real men will do the thing that your man did, Tanya, that your husband did. It doesn't matter if they have their last penny. Imagine, right, a man sends you $100, right, but he only had $110 and he wires you $100. That is more of a man, right? That man is more of a man than a man who is a multimillionaire who sent you $1,000, okay? Because clearly that man can easily afford $1,000, right? He can easily afford it. He can send you $1,000, but that person who chose to put himself in a struggled situation in order to send you that money. I'm not saying that your husband is poor or anything, but I'm saying that a lot of Gambian, especially Gambian men as well, you know, they've been brought up the old school way, right? It's not about being flashy. It's not about, you know, you see these, I'm sorry, I don't even want to say this word, but these pussies that are on, I don't like saying that word. These pussies that you see in the manosphere, you know, talking about, oh yeah, there's a gender war and all that rubbish. Total rubbish. Those people, and then they're going around telling everybody else that they've been effeminated. They've been telling other men, you've been effeminated because you're running around, you're doing what your woman tells you to do, you know, you're getting along in a relationship. Oh my gosh, you're communicating to your partner in a relationship. Yeah, she's got her thumb on you. That's what's happening. It's crazy.
They call those type of men simps. Yeah.
The world, the way is that we are going. We're in a situation now. Yeah. Oh, is that the word for it? Simps.
Yes, Kevin Samuels came up with that word, simps. And so everybody runs with it.
Oh.
But let me tell you something. If she would have just been honest, I was at a point because she had a son. She said, look, SUMUMBA, it's not going to work out. I've met someone, or it's just not going to work out, and I need help paying the rent, helping with some bills. I'm out here. I didn't know it was going to be hard to be here. I would have probably said, okay, I'll help you out as much as I can. We can still be friends, because I was at a point where I was relieved, because like things were happening. I would say, this isn't going to work. It's too disrespectful. I could stay in America if I want, for this level of disrespect. I thought you was different because you were raised different. So that's what it was. If she just would have been honest, I would have probably still supported her. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't breaking me like that. You know, we are still human beings. She has a child. She's really trying to do better for herself in her life. You know, if she would have said that, it would have been cool. I could have respected her. We could have been friends. She could have showed me around and been my wing woman when I came to Accra. I don't know if I'm going to Accra anymore, not initially at least. If we could have been cool, that's fine. It's a lesson learned.
Yeah.
It's money. It's whatever. You know, it's not the rest of my life where I'm going to be miserable. So I'm happy about that. So I'll take the responsibility of what I did. I'm not going to sit here and just say she's just a catfisher and now African women, Nigerian women, Ghanaian women are all schemers. No, I chose to give. I chose to be this and that. And she just has some character flaws and issues and problems with being honest. And that's what it was. And apparently she's asking for money. She eventually stopped asking for money. She said, no, don't send me anything else. So hopefully her husband has it together now, or she's probably back home with her mom. I don't know. God bless her. I have not looked back ever since. She even came on my Facebook. I posted about it with the clown pictures over the face, and she used her sister's account, you know, to say something. Oh, I can send you more pictures if you want. Oh. That's what she said. So at that point, I said, okay, I need to block her. I need to block her sister as well. And I think her son was still on my Telegram.
Gosh, really?
And I saw some more pictures. Her son was interested in, you know, having this relationship, but, you know, I'm pretty sure she stopped that as well. That's what I hate about when the children are involved. And a woman says, well, you got to accept me and my child. I'm like, wait, I got to make sure me and you are straight first. Because if we break off, it's just going to be another black man out of a father out of the child's life. So it's so many variables. But honestly, I'm happy that it happened. I took the lessons. I took the L. But I would tell anyone else, try to meet someone as soon as you can. And it won't be COVID in the way. And see how it works out. I think you need to spend time with people. You can't just talk ish online and expect for it to be real. And then not the fact that you have disagreements and arguments, but the level of disagreement and the disrespect in those arguments is really key and telling. You know, it really got to a point where it was like, you know, this is just who I am, rather than how I'm acting, rather than, you know, this is who I am. It isn't like this is who I am. And when they start saying that, they're not going to change. They're not going to want to grow with you. They're not going to want to be a better person. And that's the sign that where it's time to be out, big time.
Let me ask you, SUMUMBA. There is a comment actually here, dollar bill. These women have many guys like you. You don't think that was the case, right? You don't think this woman was like just playing the game, really, just saying, okay, do you know what? Let's speak to 5 or 6 guys. Like, which woman is like that? Is it Ava Longoria? There's a woman in America, I think. She was on a program called something, I don't know, something with women. Ava Longoria. She's married to Tony Parker, who's a French basketball player at one point. And she's open and honest about the fact that she kind of uses men. She calls it overlapping, but that's what that is. She won't finish with a man until she meets another guy. Do you think that perhaps this lady was sort of, well, being even more, you know, cold-hearted and had a row of guys and saying, listen, okay, I've got 5 or 6 guys now. Let's talk to each of them. Let's see how it goes. Which one of them comes at, you know, is the best one. you know, at what point could you, let me ask you this, at what point did you feel like the relationship that you was in a committed relationship, at what point did that happen?
Well,
Housewives.
We started we started detailing plans. We started with the I love you sort of thing. I even went and I fitted for a traditional Nigerian wedding, costume, the hat size and the gown size and all this other stuff. Talking to the mom quizzing me, stuff like that. We started detailing what is needed for this. I guess it would have been a Nigerian / Ghanaian wedding. We started really breaking down what was needed and what was not dowry, but the things that are different. It's different in Nigerian Africa, parts of Africa in terms of wedding. So when it got real like that,
how much is the dowry? How much is the dowry?
It was like, I think it was like 15 to 20, 20,000, 1,500 to 20 to 2,000. That might be a lot to some people, but that's not really a lot. Yeah. It wasn't that much. And then it was like, no, 100. 1,500.
All right, man. That's all right.
Yeah, that's not bad. I mean, 2,000, that's not bad.
That's really good.
And so that was even more impetus. And the fact we started actually looking and talking to realtors about places and stuff like that. And we hadn't even met, which was not good. But it wasn't like a cost I needed all this money. And then with whatever she had, her mom is Yoruba, so I think it would have been a Yoruba thing or something. And it was it's even more than money. You have to do certain things in order to be married, but the money wasn't, prohibitive, So that's when it started happening. And she didn't have a lot unless she was some sort of vampire. I pretty much knew her schedule and she was always accessible, not just on the phone, but to do, what do you call those things? FaceTime. We could do it in the middle of the night. She was always accessible. And like I say, she was working on her mom's pharmacy, which was 7 days. The only day she didn't work, I think, was Saturdays. And that's only because of the Sabbath. And her mom was home on the weekends. So it was I always knew her whereabouts. But to me, if she had another guy or 6 other guys, when she got to Ghana, obviously she met somebody else, and all the rest of that and got married. But she was still living in that place. She had done the FaceTime with me and her son. So, she just, she was just really felt like her time was running out. And then we had got into fights so bad that I guess she was just like, yeah, it ain't gonna work. I'm listening. Yeah.
Let me ask you this question. Right. Do you think this guy that she ultimately got married to, I don't know if you guys already clicked the thumbnail, if you saw the thumbnail, if you've seen the thumbnail, that's the real lady. That's the real lady, and that's this guy. I mean, this is the photograph that SUMUMBA had saw and what she's married. So how long do you think into your relationship that she met this guy? Do you think she had already met him already? Was he already on the hooker when you guys are already met, or what? What do you think?
Honestly, as I said earlier, I think when she gave me the warning about you need to hurry up and get here, because all these guys are talking to me. I honestly feel that when she got to Nigeria, she met someone, and then she eventually just said, F it, let's do it with the guy. And Ghana hadn't opened up at that point either. So I couldn't even come if I wanted to. But I said, since she's there, I wanted her to move back to Badagry and, save up some more money. Because I was planning on coming January, February of this year. And it's funny. I just got an inbox from somebody, a friend in Nigeria, another one. And she's saying, well, the girl isn't Nigerian. She's Ghanaian. And I shouldn't be dragging her and all this other stuff. It's really interesting. So anyway, so no, I think what happened was she when she made the warning is where the guys, she's like, yeah. And then we got into a big fight and she was talking all this stuff. And actually I said, I hate you. I really hate you. I told her that. I didn't want to curse her out. She said something that was really disrespectful. like she said, basically my age, I should have more to show for myself in my own life and stuff like that. And I was like, I've been paying my bills since I've been 25. You're 30 and you still with your mom, and you have a child, and you haven't paid your bills. So what are we really talking about here? So that's when it kind of hit me. And towards the end, it was like we need to have a chat, because I don't think this is going to work. Your level of disrespect, I could be in New York for this. I'm not going to go halfway around the world to be with someone that's disrespectful. See, this is my error. I thought that African women were more respectful than African American women. And that may be true for some, but I think it really comes down to the individual, and she had a lot of hurt and pain.
Can I say this? Can I say something? Right. You African American women, you cannot generalize them in that way, can you? Because African American women are very different, dependent on their upbringing, where their location, which city they came from, their family background, their history. They're just like men. There's a lot of guys out there who are exactly the same. And you got a lot of, as soon as you hear someone say something like African American men are A, B, C, D, I sort of turn off, because straight away you know that this person is probably, I'm not saying that you're ignorant, but I'm saying when people talk a whole group of people together and label them, clearly there's some underlying issues with that person's intelligence, right? You're like,
right,
but African American women are very different. Clearly.
I mean,
I've been to Florida. I've met African American women in Florida, and they're very different than the ones from New York. They're very different.
I totally agree with you. I think, the women, Chicago, I might need to move to Chicago if I'm going to get a wife here, because I always do well with Chicago women, possibly Oakland women as well. New York women are just a little bit too rough. Some of them down South Carolina, cool. But Chicago, if you're watching Chicago black woman, holler at me. So I'm not gonna say there's really not a difference. I think it really comes down to how you raise, what you believe in, and all the rest of that stuff. But I find that African women aren't as, if they haven't been colonized or into the whole American whatever, American hip hop, negative hip hop, if they haven't been too encouraged by what we have over here, I find that African women can be very sweet without the edge, particularly if they have their mother and father in their lives and they were raised by their mother and father, which is also universal. Like, you meet a black woman that doesn't have her father around, hasn't had her father around, has had nothing but negative relationships, or mostly negative relationships with black men, you're going to have an attitude if they can't separate themselves from that. I've had a lot of bad experience with black women, but I ain't going nowhere. I still love y'all. Even with this, I still love y'all. It's a lesson. I'm going to take it. I'm going to become a better person for it. I'm going to, I got options too. I do have options, actually. Black American women, African American women. I'm not a player, but I know that there's women out there that love me for me and like me for me, and we can be friends regardless. So I'm not hard up and stuff like that, looking for that. I got my eye on somebody as well. But this experience really taught me to be really careful. The biggest issue is when you feel disrespect from someone, or someone says something disrespectful, and they don't cover themselves, or they don't come back and correct themselves, then they're going to do it again, and they're going to have it in their heart. So if I say something disrespectful or do something disrespectful, I'm going to come back and apologize, or I'm going to acknowledge it, because I'm not perfect. I will do something that's not right. So that's one of my biggest lessons as well. If you don't check the disrespect in the beginning, it's going to continue. And this goes for male, female, all the rest. It's just like if a man hits a woman the first time, it's likely that he's going to do it again. And if he doesn't apologize, he doesn't amend for it, atone or whatever, then he's going to possibly do it again. Same thing if you say something disrespectful or do disrespectful things. If it's not checked and acknowledged by the person that did it in the beginning, and you shouldn't even have to demand it, but if they don't make that self-corrective action, it's going to continue. And to me, that was the biggest lesson from her. It was my fault. I said, even 3 or 4 months into it, I almost made the biggest mistake of my life. I almost married somebody that, this would have been the biggest mistake of my life. And I actually was so immature that I posted that online. And she found out. We got into a big fight, big argument. She just said, she really expressed how she felt. So that was my L. That was me not being a man. I should have kept that between us. Actually, I should have just kept that between us and then just be like, look, it's not gonna work. Mm-hmm. So it was my fault. I'll take the whole blame, no matter how foul, how much money she took. I'll take the blame for everything, because that's what you should do. You should man up, woman up, and look at yourself first and what you allow. So yeah.
Let me ask you, in total, did you count up the amount of money you sent her in total? Have you ever?
Oh, my brother, I don't want to think. I don't want to think about that, but
I
won't give you a total. But let me just say, I'm sure it's not five figures, maybe up to close to five figures. It was probably, I would probably say probably less than 10,000.
10 grand.
Yeah, it could have been more like It could have been closer to 5, which is not a lot, but it's still a lot, especially for somebody that's is still not out, still not in his home, So yeah, I can't see I'm looking at my phone.
Sorry, these guys.
I'm looking at the comments on my phone because I'm using my laptop right now. I can't see the comments. Oh no, I didn't go to. Who's this said? I didn't go all the way to Accra. I didn't go all the way to Accra physically for Catfish.
No.
What are you talking about?
What about this one?
White Plains Road. I hate White Plains Road. That's so ratchet over there. I got a friend that lives 228th in the White Plains. To me, that's the worst part of the Bronx. That's the 2 line. The 2 line is ratchet. The 4 line is okay. I'm on the 4 line.
Yeah, that's way up.
That's way up there. I'm in the Tremont area.
When you said this, I was like, no White Plains.
Yeah. My boy's 228. It's ratchet up there. It's really crazy up there.
Northeast.
So yeah, James went back on White Plains.
Naive boy. Stereotypes.
With James' accent, I don't know. They would think that he's Jamaican. I think you are Jamaican, right?
No one ever thought I was Jamaican. I lived in the Northeast. I lived near Co-op City at one point in the West Bronx. No one thought I was Jamaican. They all thought. As soon as I spoke, they were like, I was getting some strange looks up there because they'd never heard a British accent before. But we were talking way back before.
Let me address
the internet. Yeah, go ahead.
Let me address this. Somebody says stereotypes aren't real type of women. It's interesting. People don't listen. Like, they hear what they want to hear. I said before, people are people no matter where they are. It just depends on how you were raised and who you were raised by. I've had experiences with women in New York that are different than other parts of America. So I'm saying with this girl, she was great, but obviously she had some issues in herself. And she was raised decently, but at the end of the day, it depends on who you're raised by, and what you believe in and what you practice. It doesn't matter if you're African American or a Native African. To me, I don't care. My wife is going to be one or the other or somewhere else in the diaspora. I'm not stereotyping anyone. I'm just telling you what I've experienced. Now, I went in it thinking that girls born in Africa or Brazil or something are different because they haven't been recognized or colonized or so rough in their ways as you find some of these black women here. That's why I made the mistake. But at the end of the day, people are people. It depends on how you're raised, who you're raised by, and what you believe in and what you practice. So I don't stereotype, just learn my lesson. It mean that you're a better woman, and necessarily being from America doesn't mean that you're like a rougher woman either. I want to say that. It really depends on the individual and what that individual believes in and practices. But I will say this for African women that buy into this WAP and negative parts of hip hop or whatever, exploitative, that buy into the culture here, and that are like, transactional, just material and about the money first and everything else. I find that that's a problem that's being transported to Africa through social media and through the music and all the rest of it. That's problematic. Regardless. But it doesn't matter where you're from. It just depends on what type of person you are. The first
Okay,
generalization
so
you assume. Yeah, I can take that.
Uh,
I made the generalization because I've had bad experiences in America. And I find that I've talked to women in other places where I haven't had those same experiences. But at the end of the day, this experience showed me that there really is no difference. You know, people put on their representative in the beginning, and they seem that way. There's no difference between African women and African American women. The only difference is the exposure and what you believe in and how you were raised and what you were practiced. So I can man up and say, yo, I made the wrong generalization in the beginning, you know, but I learned my lesson. Here I am. I still love you, Black woman. Holla back. It's all good, you know. Next time, don't open your wallet. Yeah, that's definitely a fact.
Yeah.
Yes. Say it twice. For the people that didn't hear you in the back.
Yeah.
Was it Kate?
Sure.
Yeah,
Sure.
you're right.
Yeah.
Amen to that. I say. I take the L. I'll take the L for that. The L for that one.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna start to slowly wrap things up. We've hit an hour now, but we've gone through most of the signs really. So the signs were, she told you that she loved you on the second day. Was it the second day?
Second or third day, yeah, online.
Oh, that's either a person who's desperate, you know, or who is desperate for love, that is, or somebody who doesn't understand what love really is. And ultimately, she didn't love you, because if she loved you, she would still be around right now, and you'd probably having a laugh about these stories with her on your arm right now. So she didn't love you. Love is so, it's the most beautiful thing in this world, guys. And this is why I struggle to watch any of these, like Kevin Samuels, the Manosphere. They never talk about love because they don't believe in it. And it's probably because a lot of those men had problems in their lives, you know, when they were younger, as they were growing up. They weren't, they didn't have that input from their parents, that love from their parents, or their love from their, you know, from in the world. They weren't able to view what it was meant to be, what it's meant to be like, what love is meant to be like. That, yeah, they just have no idea. So what they don't understand is that love is like a bond. It's the glue, and it's like super glue. And I've experienced it with my parents clearly, you know, who before my father passed away, God rest his soul, before he passed away, they'd been married for 25 years. It wasn't always happily, right? It wasn't. They had their ups and downs, but they stayed with one another. They brought up their kids, and, you know, they stuck with each other through thick and thin. That is love, you know, that is true love, you know. And a lot of people now in 2021, I just have a feeling that people are going to struggle in these long-term relationships because they're going to be more selfish. They're going to believe that if they don't get the type of relationship they see on the Instagram, you know, on the memes, you know, when you've got, you know, these perfect couples that they see on Instagram or on YouTube, who's starting up these YouTube channels, and they think that everything is all, you know, sunshine and rainbows. And then something hits them really hard. Something hits them, and then that relationship just collapses. It breaks into a million pieces. They don't understand that's not love. It wasn't love in the first place. A lot of these Hollywood relationships, you see them, they are relationships of convenience, and only some of them make it through. Okay, only some of them make it through, and not always happily. Michael Douglas and Catherine Zeta-Jones is one notable couple in Hollywood. Clearly are unhappy with each other, but they stay with each other because that's part of their image. The image is important to them, right? I think Michael Douglas was running around. He's been running around with other women behind Catherine Zeta-Jones's back since day one. Okay, it never stopped, so it just kept on going. And he didn't sign a prenup either. Or did he? Yeah, he signed. He made Catherine Zeta-Jones sign a prenuptial agreement. You know, these types of things. People today are going to struggle because they want everything quick, including their relationships. They want to have to go online, you know, pick and choose which person they want. Oh, I like this one. I'm going to choose this one. And they go out, they do whatever. If it doesn't work out, I'll just go to another one. Boom, boom, boom. It's getting much worse. You're going to have a lot more microwave relationships, you know, quick ready meals, boom, boom, boom. I don't think that the relationships today are going to be able to hold up like those people who met their partner offline. You know, it just came about through the attraction of energies. I do believe in the attraction of energies, guys. I'm not all, you know, I'm not totally, you know, I do care. I do think about, wait, this homosexual Jamaican guy again. Huh? I'm going to put this up again. Yes, me again. What are you doing here? Anyway, so yeah, so you got a lot of these people who are going to struggle in today's environment. If you don't pay them enough, if you don't do some XYZ quick enough, boom, you're kicked out the door. And they go on, they move on to somebody else. Those people are never going to be happy. Never. They'll never be satisfied, you know, because they're always going to be thinking that the grass is greener on the other side. Guarantee you. Okay, let me tell you something. You thought that this lady that you were speaking to, right, you thought that she was still asking you for money behind her man's back, right?
Yes. Yes.
So what else was she? So what else was she doing behind his back?
Right. Well, let me tell you. She said that something was wrong with her iPhone, which I also bought. She said that it needed an upgrade. So she stopped. That's why she stopped answering my WhatsApp messages. And then she said, "Oh, well, I did speak to my mom and my sister." And I'm like, "Well, how did you do that?" You know, I said, "Could you go to the computer place and talk to them online?" She said, "Oh, I haven't done that yet." That's when I started figuring out this is a game to her. So she's lying to me. She probably doesn't have enough time to lie to him. Well, she's definitely lying to him, but I can't really see where she had enough time to be with others. So she was playing both of us. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure he had no idea. He probably still has no idea. God bless his heart. God bless his heart. And God bless her son's heart.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Well, I hope things work out for you in love, SUMUMBA. There are a lot of people who are going to be looking to you to give them advice on how to, you know, how to form and to keep a committed long-term monogamous relationship, how to cultivate love inside the relationship. I couldn't do that because I don't know how to. I'm difficult to. You can ask my wife right now. I'm really, you know, I struggle with it. But you know, like I said, you know, water can cut through mountains. You understand, and it cuts through mountains by persistence. You know, by continuing to do things consistently. Boom, 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 boom. And if you continue to cultivate your love for your partner, you know, and look at things from a perspective where you're not just focused purely on this man's wallet or on this woman's, you know, physical attributes, then I promise you, you're going to make it. Guarantee you're going to have a happy relationship.
Right.
So yeah, I just wanted to say that. Any closing words, SUMUMBA, before because I don't.
Yeah, and I know we're a little over an hour now, but it's just really interesting because I've been working on relationships in the relationship field for over 20 years now. I even wrote a book called Dating Games A Brother Speaks Up. And it's based on what happened to my mom. My mom was in a emotionally abusive relationship for the last 21 years of her life. And she died with a broken heart, literally. Her husband had left her Easter weekend. She went into the hospital on Sunday and she died on a Thursday. And before she died, I guess she kind of knew she was passing away. She had heart problems. But I started writing this book, and part of it was about the abuse that she had experienced. And I said, look, I want to write this book because I want to tell your story. And she was like, yeah, I want you to tell my story because I don't want other Black women or other women to go through what I've gone through. So I was like, okay. And she edited the first part of my book. And I'm actually working on re-editing and putting it online as well. So I've been dedicated to learning about and telling her story and how she raised, a single mom raised a son and a daughter alone, and the positive Black men she put in my life through boyfriends and others. So I had a positive father figure, you know. But that doesn't make me, with everything that I've learned, I have a degree, I've worked with singles, I work with families, I work as a therapist. It still hasn't necessarily helped me be married or have children, kind of like Kevin Samuels, even though he's been married. But anyway, but yeah, so I wanted to say all that. I've been working in this field. No matter how much knowledge you get, you have to make the right choices in the right person that you want to be with. But yeah, in closing, I lived, I learned, I'll take the L. At the end of the day, it's a better situation that we didn't end up together, because I would have probably been miserable. You know what I'm saying? We would have just been another statistics in terms of relationships. But I still love Black women. I'm not favoring African women over African-American women. It doesn't matter where you're from. It's where you're at up here. And I just want to say, keep the faith, keep your head up. I'm not hard up. I'm not pressed. You know, I know that, I know that I will find someone. I may even know them. I may even be talking to them right now, as a matter of fact. But I want to be in a position where, actually, for me, I want to be able to move around more, be even more financially successful. I know I shouldn't be saying that because the money shouldn't be at the top, but there's certain things that I want to do and certain positions I want to be in before I'm in a relationship, full-time relationship, and get married. I'm not quite there. I still have a little more work to do. I still have a few more things I want to do, but I'm always open to cultivating friendships and things of that nature. I'm not hard up. I'm not an animal, so I don't need sex. I was listening to your thing about celibacy. That's easy to me. You know, look at all the people, Black men that are in trouble because of sex. Look at Bill Cosby. Look at R. Kelly. Look at other people. You know, so I feel like this. For me, it's better to have steak. You know, why go out for burgers when you have steak at home? And like you, I know that
why is that?
I know, and when I know when I get with somebody, it's going to be like all the women will be coming after me or whatever, or more attention. But it's going to be like, well, where were you when I was going through all this? When I was by myself? Or you guys were like, what's the word? Ghosting me and playing games with me and all the rest of this stuff. But now I'm a hot commodity because I have someone. You know, no, that's fakery. So that's going to make it even easier for me to be monogamous and do the things that I want to do, because I know what I want to do with my life.
SUMUMBA.
You know? And I can't do that being out in the streets. Go ahead.
Let me ask you this question. There's Mitzi 4043. She asked you, would you spend 10 stacks on an American woman, or are you a cheap date? I didn't read that last part though, but you know, there are going to be people out there that are going to think, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
You know, if you would have, yeah, of course.
Would I spend? No. I am 10 stacks on my future wife. Yeah, for sure. Maybe a few hundred on my friend. I'm not a cheap date. I don't believe it. I'm not taking you if you come to New York. I'm not taking you to the 99-cent pizza place. I know you remember those places, James. I'm not taking you there. I'm taking you to Bleecker Street Pizza. You know, I'm taking you to like a higher Lombard Street. I'm going to spend money. We're not going to Red Lobster either. You know, we'll go somewhere that's quality. Or we'll go somewhere where it doesn't take any money. We'll go on the river. We'll go to Hudson. We'll go to East Side River. I'm looking at it right now. I'm not a cheap date. I don't mind spending money. I'm not going to be spending thousands of dollars on somebody that ain't my future wife. But I possibly can spend hundreds. And maybe she can spend hundreds if we're friends. And I find a lot of value in friends. I don't mind being in the friend zone. Just have something going on where we can inspire each other and become better people. That's cool. Yeah.
Okay.
Jermaine Dupri is being used. He comes off as desperate. I don't know. I don't even know what that means, but whatever.
Okay.
People say I look like Jermaine Dupri or whatever. I don't take that as a compliment, but whatever. From randoms on like Gigi, whatever. I look like my father and my mother, more like my mother. Some people like it, some people don't. It doesn't matter. I don't know who you are. So if you're throwing shade, it's fine. It's fine, whatever. I can show you women that I'm friends with that I could be with. That'll be like whatever, you know. So
welcome to my world.
Yeah.
Welcome to my world. I get
Who do they say you look like?
Is that what they call it? Shade.
Shade, yeah. Have you been compared to anybody?
Sometimes it depends. When I was younger, they used to say that I look like Tyrese. And that was a nice one. I was like, oh, yeah, Tyrese. That's nice.
Yeah.
And then somebody said that I look like, when I was in New York, everyone used to call me Mason because they thought that I looked like Anthony Mason. I was like, thank you very much. You remember Anthony Mason? He was a power player.
Yeah, he passed away, unfortunately.
I was like, come on, bro. Yeah, he's dead. Yeah. I was like, come on, I don't look like Anthony Mason. Really?
Right.
So, yeah. It's just one of those things.
Yeah, I get that a lot. I get Ray Dupree, sometimes Spike Lee. When I was bigger, CeeLo.
Okay.
And I used to take it as a disrespect, but then I realized there's women that find me attractive. So whatever, it's all good. I think I look all right. I think you got to look at me well. And I think I clean up well, but if you catch me on a rough day, you're not going to see a picture. I'm not going to selfie. I have to clean up. I had to shave and shower today. So whatever, it's all good.
Okay.
Somebody said,
real quick. Yeah.
These people are hilarious. Someone told me in my WhatsApp, they said people are really being judgmental in the comments. And I'm just like, whatever. Y'all haven't made mistakes.
I tell you what, I've been watching this and I've been laughing. Some of these guys are so funny.
Yeah, I mean, y'all have given up money. I'm sure you brothers have given up money. Some of you women have given up money to giving up the booty to Pookie and Ray Ray. Shit, you throwing stones in a glass house? I'm man enough to say I was stupid. I gave up money, but I still got money. Money is what it is. I know how to get it. It's going to keep coming. But my heart and my mind is what matters. I just hope I'm helping somebody. People can throw insults all they want. I'm never going to probably meet you. It's all good. If it makes you feel better, that's fine. But I'm here to hopefully shed some light. I'm here to man up and say I made a mistake and how not to be catfish or how not to, not even if it's catfish, how not to like give up things and not get things back. See, the biggest issue is reciprocity. Things can't always be 50-50. You know this as a married man. Sometimes it's going to be 199. Sometimes it's going to be 0-100. But eventually it has to balance back out to 50-50 or 100-100. When the reciprocity is not there is where the problem happens. You know, and I'm a very giving person. I'm a very kind person. I would have still be giving money if she would have been honest, you know, and I see progress. I don't mind helping people out because somebody helped me out. I got people I can call right now that will give me money. I got a friend right now that has $600 in food stamps. He said, hey, you need food? I'm like, nah, I'm good. But the gesture is good. You know, so if I needed money, I know somebody I can call right now. So, you know, if I have it and you're a legitimate person, then I don't mind sharing it because, you know, you give and you receive. It all comes back regardless, right? So I'm just trying to smile, be happy, and help empower our people. You know, that's it. So say what y'all want to say. I love y'all. Somebody asked, what am I looking for in a woman?
I want you to
I'm looking for somebody I can grow with.
Yeah, last question.
Yeah, I'm looking for someone that I can grow with. Someone that cares about their people. Someone maybe that's into the arts, learning new things, having fun with. And even if we don't make it as a couple, have a lifelong friend. I'm looking for lifelong friends, family, all the rest of that. But just at the end of the day, somebody that I can grow with.
Who's your favorite artist?
I'm spiritually in tune with and can grow with.
Who's your favorite artist, SUMUMBA?
Did I what?
Who's your favorite artist?
My favorite artist?
Your favorite artist?
Artist?
Yeah, no, yeah, and I don't mean musical artists, like artists, you know. Yeah.
Like artists, like visual artists? I guess it would be Yeah. Oh God, I can't think of his name. He was a great artist in Harlem. I like it. Hopefully it'll come back before we sign off. I like Basquiat. I like Jackson Pollock, and I like I know this is gonna sound typical, but I like Picasso as well. And I don't know whoever did that Sade picture behind you, whoever that artist is, I like them too.
I'm gonna start putting her contact details because apparently everybody wants this painting. It's crazy. And she's done a lot.
Who did it?
It's a friend of mine, actually. It's a friend of mine, and she's like one of those types of people who doesn't go around talking about her talent. she just lets it show, and she doesn't really tap into her own talent. I don't know why she doesn't do it. It's crazy. She does this just for fun. You know, she doesn't get paid for this. And she has a friend of hers who also does painting, and she's not in any way close to this other lady's level. You know, this lady, the one who painted this is up here, and the one who's painting, who paints for a living, God,
Right.
she's not that good, and she's selling her paintings for 500-600 euros a piece. You know, so yeah,
Right.
I'm going to start putting her. So guys, if you're interested in something like this, let me know. Okay, let me know. Inbox me or email me.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Romare
I'm
Bearden.
pressed for
Romare
time.
Bearden is my favorite. One of my favorite artists. I just got his name. Romare Bearden. The great artist out of Harlem. I don't know if you ever heard of him. Great
I've
artist.
never heard of him. I'm
Yeah.
gonna look up. I'm gonna look
Jacob
him up
Lawrence
after
as
this.
well.
Jacob Lawrence. Okay, cool. I'm gonna look up for those two. Okay, guys. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you very much for joining. I'm going to be going online again, live, not tomorrow, but the day afterwards. Got another video coming out tomorrow. Guys, my schedule is all a bit messed up at this present moment, so just bear with me, okay? Because I've got a project that you guys are going to be hearing about very, very soon. I know I keep saying this, but we're on the brink of launching something which is going to make life so much better for a lot of people in our community. So I'm looking forward to bringing that out very soon. But right now I'm going to cut this now. So guys, thank you for joining me, and I will see you in the next one. I would like to say thank you also to SUMUMBA SOBUKWE. We will be back
And
online.
go to my
Friday, right?
Yeah, please join my channel. Go to my channel and sign up. Help me get to 2,000.
Yeah. Go to his channel. I'm going to put a link to his channel inside the description, so you guys can easily go to his channel. And yeah, so guys, I'm going to end it there. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing if you've just come, and I'll see you in the next one. Till the next time.
Peace.
Okay. Ciao.
Peace. All right.